Before we get into our latest round of NFL Power Rankings, here from the Chat Sports staff, everyone voting on it, combining all those votes. If you like these videos each and every Tuesday morning, then like today's one for me. With there being no more winless NFL teams, there is a lot of disagreement on who is actually the worst football team. But at number 32, it is the New England Patriots, losers of 4 straight football games. Maybe Drake May ends up playing soon, which maybe is a bit more concerning than previously thought because that offensive line is not looking very good. The Cleveland Browns continue to fall in the wrong direction. That offense is a mess. The offensive line is not doing a good job. That is very true. Sean Watson is not seeing the field well. I don't know if they'd actually do it, but I think giving Jameis Winston a shot would give some life to that offense. Carolina at number 30, they had the win with Andy Dalton, and then, not so great results since then. Bengals and Bears beating them up pretty good. So Carolina's at 30, Browns at 31, Patriots at 32. Number 29 is the Tennessee Titans. They're coming off a bye. Again, there was pretty big disagreements on who was the worst team in the NFL. Tennessee's 29. Last week's bottom team, the Jacksonville Jags, jump up to 28. They've actually been close to winning a bunch of games this year. And they almost found a way to lose another close game against the Colts, but they were able to get out a win at least for a week at least, hold off on the conversations around Doug Peterson's job security. The Las Vegas Raiders at number 23. It's kind of weird to me. It's like, what are the Raiders? Like, what are they trying to be? Are they rebuilding? If they are, why do they pay so much money to guys like Christian Wilkins? We know Devontae Adams, more than a second, is going to get traded. They signed up for the Gardner Minshew experience. Part of that is he just does weird stuff that doesn't help you. Bad decision-making in the red zone led to the giant pick six from Patrick Surtain. Like, that's who he is. They'll also have a game where he just, looks perfect and does everything right, and the Minshew mania, which it sometimes is more manic than anything else, works. But they're already out on that, and they're trying Aiden O'Connell, who's also not a starting quarterback. Like, everyone around football was like, yeah, the Raiders don't have a QB. We're 5 games in. That is abundantly clear. It's probably a factor in why Devontae Adams is done in Vegas. Seems like a matter of when, not if, Devontae Adams gets moved. So who is going to trade for him? Let me know in the comment section of today's show, at the pinned comment of the video, where will Devontae Adams be traded? Number 26, the Miami Dolphins. They're picking up a big win, which maybe would have been a loss if Jalen Polk did the toe drag instead of the toe-heel combination in the back of the end zone. The ground game was better for Miami. That is what they need if Tua can come back. Number 25, the New York Giants. That was a big win over Seattle. Had the awesome blocked field goal that really helped swing that game in their favor. Giants have had a couple good games. Now, they couldn't beat the Cowboys. They weren't bad in that game either, though. It's a key win for New York as they try to figure out where they fit in an open but also kind of deep NFC this season. Number 24, the Los Angeles Rams. If they weren't so decimated on offense, I think they'd be viewed as a better football team. But when you're missing Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua and your tight end and the O-line is just like half its unit, it feels like, that's probably just too much to overcome. They're doing some great schematic stuff. They're fighting like hell. But I think the lack of available talent continues to show through. I really thought the Colts were going to come back and win that football game. Genuinely, I thought it was going to happen. They could not put it together in the end. Would have been a very disappointing loss for Jacksonville as the Colts road losing streak in Jacksonville continues. I think it's like 10 games now, which is insane. Indy is number 23. Offense looked a bit better with Joe Flacco, but I think they're going to go back to Richardson, who has the arm hit those same deep balls that Flacco does as well. Today's show is made possible by Game Time. Game Time is the #1 place to get tickets for your next event. Now remember, prices tend to drop as events get closer. And Game Time has another feature to help save you even more money. It's called Game Time Picks. It makes getting tickets to your favorite teams play live even easier. It filters out the fluff to only show you the incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. It is curation designed to make it easier to find the best price on great seats for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, everything else in between. Whether that's college football, NFL, NBA, we're getting closer to preseason than the games that actually matter. NHL getting closer, which NHL, you have to see it live. It's not the same on TV. Anyway, go download the Game Time app over at gametime.co. Create your account and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. But again, create your account, redeem code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time. The ever so scrappy Arizona Cardinals check in at number 22. I love the way they play. I don't think they're good enough yet. I think they're missing just a couple more pieces in offseason before they kind of take that next step forward in this rebuild. But they're a scrappy football team. I like a lot of their designs, especially on offense and on the ground. The Bengals are number 21, and genuinely, they're 4 plays away from being undefeated. They should have found a way to beat the Patriots. They don't fumble and turn it over like twice in the red zone. They had the DPI that gave the Chiefs the win after a 4th and forever stupid play by DeJohn Anthony. They were a stop away from beating the Commanders. They couldn't get off the field on that one. They were a missed field goal after a cowardly stuff by Zach Taylor. They could easily be undefeated. The problem is now they're 1-4. And they've blown some really great offensive performances as of late because that defense is bad. And 1-4, AFC's open to an extent. Man, that is a really tough hole to dig yourself out of. The Jets are 2-3. Seems like Aaron Rodgers will be okay. And that offense, again, just doesn't seem to be clicking the way it needs to be for a variety of reasons. One of which is I don't think Daniel Hackett's actually a good play caller. Speaking of Daniel Hackett, number 19, the Denver Broncos, his old team. Denver took care of business against the Raiders. That defense is good. They're going to give themselves chances. Bo Nix has kind of steadied his play the last couple of weeks. Still think there's some doubts about just how good Denver can actually end up being. The Chargers, I was a bit surprised to see that the voters put LA ahead of Denver. Maybe if you get Justin Herbert healthy, that's kind of factored into these rankings there. LA's at 18. I think they're going to be around a 500 football team. The Saints began the year great. Not so much since then. Now Derek Carr is a bit banged up as well. They fall down to number 17 in our power rankings. I hope it doesn't come to this because I would fear for my boy Trace's mental health, our Saints Now host. I remember a couple of years ago a Dallas Cowboys team getting absolutely beat the crap out of by a Denver Broncos team that started the year 2-0 and then went on to win 5 games. I think Saints are better than that, but they've got to get it back on track quickly. Now, if you want NFL Power Rankings each and every single week until we get into playoff picture mode, now's the time. Hit that sub button at youtube.com/chatsportstv. Number 16, the Chicago Bears. They are 3-2. The Caleb Williams breakout game happened. I told you guys it was going to come. It was a matter of when, not if. That was. We'll talk about the fire zone stuff. Like, Caleb was right. Center was wrong. He had it dialed up there. Liked what I saw there from Chicago. Number 15, the Dallas Cowboys. I'm actually glad that they have not jumped up very high in the power rankings. A couple tough road wins to pick up, one of which they were underdogs on. That's valuable. I still have doubts about this Cowboys team being anything more than like 9-10 win fringe team. The Eagles at number 14. They are 2-2. They've been up and down this year. They are 3rd and 2nd in the NFC East, by the way, in these power rankings, which is correct. The Seattle Seahawks, number 13, 3-2. That loss against the Giants hurts. They had a real chance to extend the lead in the NFC West, and they could not get it done. Now, that NFC West is kind of a cluster right now, but with back-to-back losses for Seattle, are they frauds? Or do you think they're going to figure things out? I think there's the lack of commitment to the ground game and play action, I think, is making stuff a little bit more challenging on a not great offensive line already. But are the Seahawks frauds? You can be honest here. Y for yes, N for no. I am a little surprised Pittsburgh's still 12. I was outvoted on this one. But the defense is still good. The offense needs to figure some stuff out. I think that was more of an outlier game on defense last Sunday night, if you could stay up for it like us East Coast dads had a tough time doing. Well, I was live for it. But Steelers at 12. They're going to be a above 500 team. That's who they are every single season. The Green Bay Packers, number 11, hasn't always been the smoothest ride this season, but they keep finding ways to gut out wins. At NFC North, by the way, it's really good. Tampa Bay at number 10. I will make note, by the way, from a voting perspective, the difference between like number 15 and number 8, 7 was like non-existent. Like it is very narrow because you got a ton of 3-2 teams and no idea how to really rank them properly. Tampa checks in at number 10. The Atlanta Falcons check in at number 9 after an actually good Thursday night football game. Now, the defenses were bad, especially Tampa's defense, but like a lot of what I've seen. So, Atlanta at number 9. The Niners are number 8, and there definitely is some benefit of the doubt being granted to San Francisco. I am a little bit worried about them, though. You know, they have had some bad injury luck, and after several years of being healthy, even their kicker got a high ankle sprain. The kicker did. I can't remember the last time I've seen that happen. And I got to go find a new kicker. The running back fumbled the game away. The O-line didn't do its job on that play. They're just not finishing some games, and they kind of got to right the ship here. So what is your panic level over the San Francisco 49ers? Scale it from 1 to 10 in the comments section. It's about to get a little bit more challenging, as I've said last week, but the Browns are a bad football team. Number 7 is the Washington Commanders. Maybe the game of the week? Ravens Commanders? 1 p.m. kick? It's going to be a good football game, by the way. And then you get the Panthers and the Bears and the Giants. Then it gets a bit challenging in mid-November, but Washington taking advantage of an early season schedule that's been favorable for them, have pulled the upset over the Bengals. They're in pole position right now in the NFC East. Number 6, the Buffalo Bills. Maybe we should be a little bit worried here. That's 2 straight games which the offense has not looked good. They really missed Khalil Shakir against Houston. I don't understand going pass it like your own 4 with 30 seconds left in the game. Just run it and then force overtime. If you get a first down, you can change it, but this is just weird play calling there. Allen went 9 of 30. Look, he always has a couple clunkers each year. That's bad. The Ravens, meanwhile, have very much righted the ship. They did the inverse of themselves as they came from behind in the fourth quarter to beat the Bengals. Sorry, Producer Stone, that one's kind of traumatic for you. Ravens back on track at 3-2. The Lions at 3-1. One of your obvious NFC contenders here. They're coming off the bye. They get the Cowboys this week in a very good afternoon game. Number 3, the Houston Texans. That was a gutty win over Buffalo. I think they deserved them. I thought they were the better team in that matchup. Hasn't always been pretty, especially on the ground, but 4-1 in AFC that's a little bit tricky to figure out beyond the Chiefs. Houston's in a great spot. Then, of course, the last 2 undefeated teams are at the top. It is the Minnesota Vikings at number 2, and number 1, your still reigning champions, the Kansas City Chiefs. How about Kansas City leaning on Juju Smith-Schuster and Kareem Hunt, both of whom were terrible last year and were not invited to return to their organizations, and the Chiefs leaned on them heavily. Go figure, man. So grade our power rankings. As a reminder, if you like where your team was ranked, it was all me. You are welcome. I take full credit. If you don't like it, I was outvoted. I agree with you. It was not fair for me. I was outvoted. Don't blame me at all. Grade our power rankings. A, B, C, D, or F.